Hello?
Yes.
Okay. It should take us live. The
We are now live. Hello, everybody on Facebook.
You see it?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. It should take us live.
We are now live. Hello, everybody on Facebook.
You see it?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. It should take us live.
We are now live. Hello, everybody on Facebook.
You see it?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So we're ready to start. Take us live.
We are now live. Hello, everybody on. Why does it keep looping?
See?
I keep hearing it saying we are now live.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So we're ready to start.
We are now live. You want to start over? Keep looping. Well, let's start over just because.
You know what?
Huh?
Yeah, it's I don't know what's going on. Okay, this is us now, right? Hello? Is this you, right? Okay. It says we're still live on Facebook, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Forgive us for our technical difficulties, but we are here and we are live with Mr. Deno Brown, a very good friend of mine. He is on the West Coast, and I thank him for joining us this evening. I want to read a little bit of his bio, and we're going to jump right into what we are talking about tonight. Deno Brown, entertainer, is an entertainment professional who has been involved in various projects, including radio, television, and film. His exemplary acting, communications, and marketing skills have allowed him to excel behind as well as in front of the microphone and camera. One of Mr. Brown's earliest projects was with BET. As an intern, he worked with some of the major music artists, including Da Brat, Snoop Dogg, Busta Rhymes, Reverend Run, Big Tigger, DJ Quick, Corrupt, Steph Lover, Outkast, Houdini, Joe Claire, Jam Master Jay, Little Caesar, to name a few. Mr. Brown has been a sought-after speaker at various events, including local radio stations, film classes, and nonprofit organizations. Recently, he served as co-host on radio station 99.3 KCLA in Hollywood, California, and has been interviewed on various radio stations, including Bay Life, KPFA, All In, Faces of Success, and All Day Play FM. He was honored to be named a Bay Area legend in his interview with the Hip Hop TV channel. An active member of the community, he always looked for opportunities to help and mentor others. As the entertainment coordinator for the motorcycle division of Rough Rider Incorporated, Mr. Brown arranged successful pro photo shoots, music videos, and autograph signings. One of his most significant accomplishments was organizing a toy drive and parade for children suffering with sickle cell anemia. Mr. Brown is a graduate of the University of California at Berkeley, where he earned a bachelor's degree in business management with minors in advertising and film studies. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to this awesome, awesome man, Mr. Deno Brown.
Hello, everybody out in Facebook land. It's your boy Deno Brown, entertainer, coming to you live from the West Coast, Los Angeles, California. I'm so appreciative of this opportunity to be here with Dr. Roach and discuss some of our projects and things that we have going on in the world. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in.
Mr. Brown, we appreciate you for being on here tonight, for coming on Journey to Success. Of course, Journey to Success, we highlight artists and we highlight people like Mr. Brown who have done something in the community, and he is a star. So we appreciate him. Tonight, although we have heard a little bit of your bio, share with us a little more about your journey of your story, if you would.
I was born in Oakland, California, which is right across the bridge from San Francisco. I had the opportunity to grow up and play basketball in my early years with NBA Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. We had an amazing run on the basketball court. Both went to high school. Then we met back up at UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, which is the number one or number two rated university in California, along with Stanford. And there I studied business management with a minor in advertising and a minor in film studies. And at an early age, I knew that I liked the razzle dazzle. I did want to be successful on any level, but I particularly like the realm of entertainment. And early in maybe my freshman year at UC Berkeley was when I was blessed with the opportunity to have my very first time on television, which was in the E40 music video called Practice Looking Hard, featuring myself, rest in peace, Tupac Shakur, E40, his sister Sugar T, the Loonies, who have the song I Got Five on it, and many other Bay Area legends.
Thank you so much for that information. Was there ever a time when you were growing up that you were a shy kid, and but you kind of had this dream, and you kind of matriculated from being shy into this great entertainment that you are?
There was a time probably, and I'm glad that you asked that because it gives me the opportunity to be transparent. There was a time between fifth and sixth grade where I did not grow
Mhm.
taller and I gained some weight. And the kids would make little fun of my weight being a little chubby or what have you. And at that point, um, I probably was a little more distant or shy for those 2 years and suffered some of the teasing from my classmates and peers. And what happened was probably about seventh and eighth grade, I had a great growth spurt of about a complete foot. And so I thinned out and grew taller, continued to play sports, and got a little more of my self esteem back.
So how tall were you in those grades? You said you had a growth spurt. Do you remember how tall you became?
I was probably um, maybe 4'3" or so in the seventh or maybe like the fourth and fifth grade. And um, I probably grew to about mm, 5 feet or so by the end of the fifth grade. I believe, like some in those 2 years, I grew a great amount. And my total height, eventually by like my sophomore year of high school, I was 6 feet 3 inches tall. So yeah, I definitely it was a difference.
I want to ask you a question again concerning your pursuit and your college. What influenced you to go after the discipline that you went into in college? Was there any type of influence, any type of influential person, or did you see something on TV? Was there someone you always wanted to be like?
Great question. The reason why I chose the major that I chose was because I didn't have a clue of exactly what it was that I wanted to do. Therefore, I said, If I choose business management as my major, that encompasses every every realm, including the arts, film, television, being a lawyer, doctor, everything has a business component to it. So I said, let me at least, because after sophomore year, you have to declare a major. So I said, let me choose this, and that'll give me the opportunity to have a foundation that's very broad. And then for my minors, I chose advertising and film studies just to diversify my portfolio. So that's why I actually chose that. It was because it was a lack of specific direction that I had in terms of my educational aspirations.
Thank you. That was needed. That's very important because I know a lot of younger people are trying to find themselves, and that was awesome. I want to ask you a question. I always follow you on Instagram and some of your social media, and I noticed last week in the wake of what happened with Nipsey Hussle, who I personally did not know or follow him, but Lauren London, I was a Lauren London fan. So, but I noticed that you were at some of the events that were happening in the city. Could you just tell the audience a little bit about your experience with what happened with him?
Um, First of all, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle and respect and my condolences to his entire family, his fans, and his friends. He was a gangster rap artist, and he was a Rolling 60s Crip gang member here in Los Angeles, Southern California. And out of that, he was able to start his musical career as a rapper and use some intelligence to divert the funds that he made initially into other businesses. He had a clothing store. He had also opened up a barber shop. He had opened up a burger store and a fish market all in one plaza. Unfortunately, the same plaza where he was killed. And that's where I was broadcasting from, which is on the streets of Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Avenue. Um, for for those of you watching out there on Facebook or on YouTube, if any of you have seen the movie with Ice Cube, Boys in the Hood, you'll remember they went to like a hangout spot, and they were in the convertible old school with the hydraulics, and they had a little dispute. We got a problem here. And the other guy showed his gun. Ice Cube showed his gun to the guy with the Jerry curl, and they said, oh, we ain't got no problem, and they walked away. And then when Ice Cube and them got in the car, they were talking to the ladies. And then all of a sudden, brrr, the Uzi starts shooting in the air. And everybody jumped in the car and started screaming. That was Crenshaw. So the movie Boys in the Hood shows Crenshaw and how all the people in the car clubs and motorcycle clubs come and drive back and forth and hang out there on the weekends. So basically my thoughts on that is that it's definitely a shame because he was doing more for the community than just buying jewelry and cars. He was investing back into the same neighborhood in which he grew up in. He had some amazing projects that he was working on that assisted the youth. He refurbished and built like a youth basketball court and areas for children to play, a lot of things that didn't come out that he was doing behind the scenes. His music primarily spoke the most volumes in terms of his character. But I also want to take this time to encourage everyone, whether you're an adult or a child, that when you come from a certain area or situation, it's okay to be proud of where you're from. But this is a prime example of how being connected with the gang culture has very severe consequences, not only in death, but also in long term jail and prison sentences. loss of family members, loved ones, friends, and it's being glamorized in rap music and hip hop culture as like being in a club. This is nothing like a club. People are being murdered and shot and killed in the streets on a daily basis because of gang violence. And everyone wants to go into an uproar, but we also have to say, Nipsey, we appreciate everything that you accomplished and did by the age of 33. But at what age and what time do we change the narrative? When do we begin to stop talking about the gang we're from and being a Crip and the name of the gang in our music? See, sometimes the vibes that we put out, they follow us. It doesn't matter what we're doing behind the scenes that nobody knows about if everybody that listens to your music is what they primarily know you're for, and there's discussion of gang violence and gang culture, and then you die by gun violence. Why should there be this big coincidence? And it's like, of all of the people to be killed, he was someone doing very positive things. He was a great example. But with that, we should all learn that when you change your life and the way you're actually living, distancing yourself from certain types of activities is definitely a good idea.
So is it safe to say that someone, as you were stating, let me back up a minute and just let you know that what you just said, is hitting home tonight for me. I can't divulge everything.
Mhm.
However, I know a young 16-year-old young man that just maybe 20 minutes ago uh, went to a holding spot, probably going to go to prison because of gun violence. And what the detective told the family was that he mentioned he was a part of the Bloods. And so,
Mhm.
me in little old Delaware, hearing you say that, it's safe to say that even when people are trying to do good and they are affiliated, or as we say, birds of a feather flock together, can still be, I guess the word would be, misrepresented because of the attachment with the gang violence. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely. And unfortunately, um, Crips and Bloods are prevalent across the country now, and they started here in Los Angeles, California. I'm originally from East Oakland, California. In Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay
Mhm.
Area, there are no Crips and Bloods. But the gang culture has spread throughout the country, and it seems like because the rappers are talking about their gang
Mm.
affiliations, now it's become a fad and become popular, and everybody thinks it's cool to do. And that's very unfortunate because you have guys that start talking about they were Crips or Bloods. Once they get 25 and 30 years old, you join in a gang, you already a millionaire, you a rapper, and now you throwing this flag around. It's kind of like backwards to me. And you see a lot of these guys, unfortunately, that are claiming these gangs. They're constantly on TMZ for drama, and they are constantly um, in fights and scuffles. And I think people should really focus on that. And I'm not in any way judging anyone, but I feel it my fiscal responsibility to give my experience. And at this time, I would like to say that I have, previously carried guns and rip and ran the streets and went to jail and did harmful things to people that I shouldn't have done. But as I try to mature and become a spiritual being, I have to think towards my future. The word says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I had to put childish things away. And that's a mind state, that's an attitude shift. And these things are very important because having a immature mind state is detrimental to our growth both spiritually as well as financially and as well as within our relationships. And what do you think about that, Dr. Roach?
I first of all, thank you for your transparency. I think that's awesome that you can be transparent. I come from a very small town. So honestly, I've seen one of the biggest cities near me become almost like a small New York where young men are listening to this music and I guess trying to emulate what they perceive I'm a gang member. And it's becoming ridiculous. Kids 16, 17, they're dying. And I never thought I would see this in my time in our little old state, but it's becoming a lot. Like Wilmington, Delaware was one of the top murdering cities in America. Wilmington, Delaware, where I'm from. At one point, they were having murders. It was crazy. And even Dover, Delaware, the capital, and I'm 45 minutes away from Dover, we see a lot of gang affiliation. There's been 3 unsolved deaths in the last year. Young people who they don't know, who killed them. And of course, what are most people going to think is gang affiliated. So I personally think that it's a war. It's a big war. I don't know how we're going to win it or how we can influence. Maybe you can help. That's the next question. How can we be of an influence to these young men who listen to this gangster rap and I'm not saying all the gangster rap is bad. I'm not saying that the people who produce this I'm not saying that at all. However, what can we do? What can a single mother do that has 2 young kids that are, you know, gotta survive because everybody else is wearing bandanas and pants down? What does the grandmom or grandfather say to their kid? How can we influence them to not be subjected to peer pressure?
That's a great question. And I do believe that it does start at home. And unfortunately, a lot of our younger generation, they don't have the great grandmother and great grandfather and grandmother and grandfather as prime examples. Some don't even have mother or father as prime examples of what a pillar of the community should look like. Everything in the media, with social media and the internet, it's caused the United States in particular to become a very consumeristic uh, type of environment. And everything that the youth build their value systems on have to do with money and material items. See, we have to get back to preaching and teaching the culture of integrity and character. See, your reputation, your reputation is what people perceive you as. Follow me now. Your reputation is what people perceive you as, but your character is who you really are. See, your character is who you are when no one is looking. So you're not putting on a front. And I think that it's vastly important that we get back to the essentials and basics of teaching a code of morality and decent behavior. Everything's not about twerking. If our youth, young boys, think success looks like NBA, NFL, pro baseball, rapping or boxing or selling dope are their options, And all the young ladies think success looks like being a video model or an Instagram model or a stripper at the club. And I got to turn my butt cheeks towards the camera and take a picture and the size of my butt and the shape of my nose and getting a contract uh, with Fashion Nova is success. Where is our future leadership? Will our country and our communities be run by rappers, basketball players, strippers, and Instagram thoughts? Now, in no way am I judging anyone, but my humble opinion was asked, and I'm just giving my thoughts. However, a man feeds his family, that's his personal choice. But God has instilled us with the power, and we have to reclaim the power. The power is here. The power comes through personal choice, and we have to teach the importance of good decision making.
Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you just said. I do hope that people are listening to you. It's not often that I know stars that share your same passion for what you just said. So I appreciate you. I appreciate this broadcast, and I know it's going to be awesome. You done preach to us. I love it. I want to. We're running out of time, so I want to ask you some more questions. I see in your bio that you raise awareness for a cause. Can you expound on that subject, please? In your bio, you raise awareness for sickle cell. There was something you raised awareness for. Why particularly did you raise awareness?
Oh, okay. So for those that are tuning in, I'm an actor on television, in now movies, in music videos. I'm also a radio show host on different networks. And I'd like to say it's first of all just an honor to be here with the doctor. But at a time in my life, I was also the entertainment coordinator for the Oakland Rough Riders. So if you've heard or familiar with DMX, Swiss Beats, Jadakiss, Dragon, all of these people were the Rough Riders. And while I was entertainment coordinator of the motorcycle division, I organized a toy drive for all of the children at Oakland Hospital that suffered from sickle cell anemia. And so what we did was we collected toys from all the different motorcycle clubs and different individuals. We put them in the back of a pickup truck, and then we lined the motorcycles up two by two like it was a long Santa sleigh. And we drove the toys all the way through the city to the children's hospital and then delivered them for the children.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome for me even sitting here talking to you. Um, I used to hear about the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
What was Eve? What was she a part of, Eve?
Eve was the first lady of the Rough Riders. She's from Philadelphia,
Mhm.
and she also had a certain type of a career. I won't expound on that, but she changed her career when she had an opportunity to be flown to the West Coast here in Los Angeles by Dr. Dre. And she began laying down some songs, but unfortunately, he was very busy with his current artists. So she was there signed to Dr. Dre for approximately 2 years, 2.5 years, but she didn't have anything come out. So um, DMX and the Rough Riders came to the West Coast, and when they went to do some music with Dre, they were introduced to Eve, and they were like, "Hey, you got some nice stuff. What's going on with you?" And she was like, "Well, I haven't got my shot yet." So the Rough Riders went and talked to Dre, like, "Hey, what's going on with the young lady?" Dre, being the great guy he is, he didn't hold up her contract or hinder her in any way. He just took his hands off, and then she became the first lady of the Rough Riders. And speaking of that, I want to also give a special shout out to Tracy Braxton, to Wanda Braxton of Braxton's Family Values, that comes on We TV. I had the awesome opportunity to be on that television show. I also want to give a shout out to John Singleton, um, film director John Singleton. He now has the blessing of being a director of a television series, and it's called Snowfall on the FX network. I had an awesome time on set with John Singleton. Special shout out to E40 for allowing me to be in the music video with Tupac and everybody else that's immortalized. Special shout out to Kendrick Lamar. I had two times that I had the opportunity to work with him, including a Grammy presentation, promotional video to the song "We Gonna Be All Right," and a slew of other people. But I'm really thankful, and I see it as a blessing. Lamont Atwood and D Shot, which is E40's brother. Right now, we're filming a movie called 16 Bars, the movie, with myself, the African comedian Michael Blackston, E40, um, Brian Hooks, uh, Rick Ross, and a few other people. So hopefully they'll wrap up filming that, and that'll be coming out soon. And I'm looking forward to some other amazing projects that are coming down the pipeline for
Thank you. You were dropping them names a while ago. Matter of fact,
me.
I done missed the Braxton's Family Values, but I'll go back and watch it. But
Yes,
it's just amazing. I have a couple of more questions, but it's amazing to
mhm.
actually sit and talk to a person. Now, I do know that for you that's just joining or you have been listening, we're going to try to bring Mr. Deno Brown to us in the near future, like this year. We've been working on some things, and he's supposed to been, before he was so busy, and we got back in touch. But I'm definitely want to bring this man because you have not really heard all of his story, but we can't do it here. But he's awesome, and so we're going to bring him from the West Coast to the East Coast. We're going to do that. What is one of your most memorable projects?
um, oh, that's a wonderful question. Uh, ooh, my most one of my most memorable projects was working when I was at BET in Washington D.C. Special shout out to Howard University. I went to the Gifted Scholars Exchange program from UC Berkeley to Howard University for a semester, and I had the time of my life. Being a natural hustler, while I was there, I found out in DC was BET. I had seen it on television. I said, "Hey, ain't no way you could tell me BET 10 minutes from here. I'm pulling up." So I went to BET. They loved me. They gave me a shot. And while I was there, I had the blessing of working on the Rap City 10th anniversary special. So you guys have heard of Big Tigger. Um, he was from Rap City in the Basement. Well, before Big Tigger, there was Joe Claire and there was uh, Chris. I can't remember what his name was, but it was like three other hosts. Prince De Jour. So they brought back all of the hosts. They brought all of the rappers like Run DMC and Rest in Peace Jam Master Jay, Master P, the Brat, um, uh, just so many Houdini, just so many artists came to be filmed and participate in that celebration series, and it was an honor just to get to meet them in person. Outcast, so, it was a lot of them, and at that time, BET was it. MTV showed a little bit of our stuff. I don't discriminate, love everybody, but our stuff. So BET was where everybody had to come. There wasn't any Instagram. And it might not even, it barely, probably was barely a Facebook, if Facebook. So if you wanted to be seen or heard, you had to book it on down to BET. You had to know somebody. You had to go to those shows, Cedar's World, Rap City in the Basement, Teen Summit, uh, uh, Tarver or Travis, whatever his name was, with the little talk show. And then my guy, Al Shakur, he had the name of our show was Hits from the Streets. But Buster Rhymes and the Flip Mode Squad, Rock Marciano, Baby Sham. I got to meet all of them, And while I was at BET, it gave me for the first time the awareness that superstars, stars, semi stars, they're human beings. And we catapult them on a certain level based on their visibility and based on some of their accomplishments. But when the cameras turn off, they're human beings. Some of these people that you idolize, they're completely different when the cameras turn off because we're artists. Do you expect that Mike Epps, excuse me, here's a better example. Please pardon me. Let me rewind it. Would you expect for you to walk down the street and see Chris Tucker and him be sitting in front of the liquor store talking about, "Ooh, who got some on the weed, man?" Like he's not that person. He's a regular guy, talks regular. These are characters. But by being at BET, I saw all of the people who were my idols growing up and got to meet them and realize that, look, these are regular people, but they have a talent. They have a craft. They might turn it eye and Mike Tyson and things become ludicrous. Who would have ever thought I'd be on a radio show with Dr. Ira Roach? He's fantastic. Everything he does. Anybody who doesn't get along like him is despicable. You have to turn on your character. You have to be, hey, who knows? One day I might be invited to meet with the queen and have tea and crumpets. You have to just turn it on and turn it off. And that's the realm of entertainment. But a lot of people don't say, hey, these are regular people. Sometimes we just want to go eat with a lady friend or our family. You sitting there with your mom or dad having a little bite to eat, or some people that actually have children with your children. Hey, can I have autographs? Let me take a selfie. Let me put this all in your face. It's like, do we ever, does the person ever get a break? And I know how once you reach a certain level, it's uncomfortable. Imagine the person who you idolize the most. To everybody viewing this, just think the person who you think is the best singer or rapper or actor. Now imagine being that person. You have more money than you can spend. You have every car and piece of jewelry that you want. And you can't go to the mall by yourself without 4 or 5 security guards because people gonna try to run up on you, crush you, bombard you, an autograph, help me with this, let me do that, ooh, let me snatch their chain. I mean, these people, just think about, they're at work trying to make money. They have people pulling us from all these different directions. You got to be on this movie set. You got to show up for this radio interview. You got to go promote this over here. But how can you rest knowing that all these weirdos is out here, and how are they treating your kid at school? Your kid can't even go to a normal school without security. People have kidnapped the child. It's crazy out here. So don't think that everything about this life is what is cooked up to be. There's some downsides to being famous and rich and whatever. And for a lot of people, at certain periods in their life, their name is more than their bank. So how would you feel? You know who this person is. You approach them because you idolize them, and they looking at you like, you want my autograph? I haven't gotten a job in 7 months. You got more money than me right now, Jack. See, people don't know that it's real stuff going out here. See, I've been blessed, but it's a lot of aspiring actors, actresses, rappers, and entertainers that have become famous but it's not backed up with education and backed up with integrity and backed up with treating people with humbleness so that everybody continues to want to work with you. When that well dries up, it's gone.
As you can see, this man is awesome. I love the voices. Um, it's almost time for us to close, but we could talk all night.
Absolutely.
What do you have any new projects you have coming up? Do you have any new projects that you can talk about that you have coming up?
I can't get into any specifics, but if the universe and God says the same and He desires to bless me, hopefully soon I should be in a movie with starring Snoop Dogg and Mike Epps. That's in the works. There's some meetings coming up. I think next Tuesday. Also, the completion of 16 Bars, the movie. I also will be traveling to the Bay Area May 2nd to May 12th to film some episodes with NBA Hall of Famer Jason Kidd. I'm not exactly what network that will come out on. I'm excited about working with my childhood friend. I also have some irons in the fire with my man Money Mike with Muddy Water Pictures and director Josh Weber. They have built a studio here in Los Angeles, California, and are also building another movie studio right now in Atlanta. And they wish to work with me on some projects. They call me honorable. And I really appreciate that. I really embrace that title because a lot of times you can get to a certain level of success and you lose your humility and your honor, and that's something that I never want to do. But I did just want to close out by saying everybody stay encouraged, follow your dreams while supporting your lifestyle in the meantime. Don't give up. Be an encourager. Be a person that reaches out to assist rather than tear down. And the vibes that you put out will definitely come back. I look so forward to working with Dr. Roach and building his brand as well as I build my brand, work on some projects together. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon.
Thank you so much for an awesome, awesome, awesome interview, Mr. Deno Brown. If you could tell everyone your Instagram tagline, please, if you would.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at Deno, Deno Brown, like the color entertainer. Deno Brown Entertainer on Instagram, as well as Deno Brown with entertainer in the middle on Facebook. And I'd love to hear from you and work with you.
Thank you so much again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live tonight on Journey to Success with Mr. Deno Brown, entertainer, Rough Rider. Thank you so much. As I said, we're going to try to bring him to the East Coast. So just keep listening his projects that he said. Please, let's support him and his projects. And thank everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you again, Mr. Deno. And you have a good night.
Absolutely. God bless.